Alton Towers has a lot of roller coasters, tend to be precise, and whether it be the Wicker Man, the Smile, or even the Octonauts, all of these rides have helped to place the park firmly within the hearts and minds of the British public. As I'm sure you already know, the coasters it currently has aren't the only ones who have inhabited the park, as over the years, one by one, Towers has removed and replaced all of its classic coasters, either scrapping them or sending them elsewhere. However, did you know you can still ride nearly all of the park's now defunct roller coasters? Even the Corkscrew, though that one is a bit of a grey area, but the rest are all legit, I promise. So, just in case you didn't know, today I'm going to tell you where you can find and ride all 8 of the lost Alton Towers coasters. Number 1. Thunderlooper. Thunderlooper was a shuttle loop launch coaster that was brought to the park in 1990, placed in the Forbidden Valley area of the park, though it was called Thunder Valley back when this ride opened, but it was removed at the park at the end of 1996 due to it being over the tree line and apparently causing cows to mate out of season. However, since 1999, this ride has operated at Hop Harry Park in Brazil under the name Catapult and is still thrilling riders to this day. This ride is nearly 50 years old now, having originally opened at King's Dominion Park in 1977, so who knows how much longer this ride will last. All we can do is buy a plane ticket to Brazil and ride this Alton Towers classic whilst we still can. Number 2. The Alton Mouse. This Wild Mouse coaster was opened in 1988 by Kylie Minogue and was placed in the Talbot Street area of the park, where it thrilled riders alongside the Beast until 1991, when it was sadly removed. However, since 1993, this ride has been operating at the Idlewild and Soak Zone in Pennsylvania and is still going strong. Whilst this ride may have only been at Alton Towers for a short time, I think it's awesome that it's still operating and I hope one day I can ride it. Number 3. The Beastie. This small Pinfari steel family coaster opened in 1983 and was the 3rd ever coaster to operate at Alton Towers. Whilst it wasn't the biggest coaster at the park, this attraction thrilled younger visitors for nearly 3 decades, closing relatively recently back in 2010. However, in 2013 it was sold to Barry Island Adventure Park in Wales and is now operating under the name Dragon Challenge. You never know, maybe Gavin and Stacey have had a ride on this classic Alton Towers coaster. Number 4. Four-Man Bob. This unique coaster by Zera opened at Alton Towers in 1985 and thrilled riders with its small drops, tight turns and high G-forces until 1990, when the park decided to remove and sell the ride. After being sold, this coaster moved around quite a lot, going to Pleasure Island, Flamingo Land, Groveland and even a brief stint at Loudon Castle in 2010, before finally finding its current home at Family Park in France, operating under the name of Gold Rush. Number 5. The Mini Apple. This tiny coaster opened in 1982, making it the 2nd ever coaster the park had, gently thrilling the youngest visitors to Alton Towers for a decade and a half before it closed at the end of 1997. However, the next year it was sold to and opened by Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach, where it continues to be the first coaster that many new thrill seekers will ride over 40 years after it opened. Also, fun fact, this ride is the 2nd oldest mini apple coaster in the world. Number 6. The Black Hole. This iconic indoor Schwarzkopf opened in 1983 and stood for more than 2 decades as one of the most iconic coasters at the park. Sadly, at the end of the 2005 season, the ride was closed for good, though its gigantic tent remained at the park until 2012. This ride was then refurbished and sold to Furvik Zoo in Sweden, where it reopened as an outdoor coaster in 2011. Unfortunately, at the end of 2021, this ride was put up for sale and is currently being dismantled. However, it won't be long before this coaster is back and running better than ever. Number 7. The Beast. This Jetstar 3 Schwarzkopf was an Alton Towers staple from the late 80s to the mid-90s, dropping riders down a 46-foot drop at a breathtaking 44 miles per hour, giving them 4 Gs of force as it banked around its first corner, the same as Nemesis, until it was sadly removed at the end of the 1997 season. However, the story of the Beast doesn't end there, with it being transferred and sold many times over the years. Its most recent stint was at Soltaire Magico in Colombia, where it operated from 2010 to 2017, and I'm sure very soon we'll see this amazing coaster back in action. Number 8. The Corkscrew. Now this attraction is probably the most iconic ride in Alton Towers history, being its 1st ever coaster and the continent's 1st ever double inversion coaster, and it really put the park on the map. This vibrant Vekoma thrilled guests for nearly 30 years, opening in 1980 and closing back in 2008, with it being scrapped and its beloved corkscrew placed outside the park gates as a permanent memorial to this amazing ride. So, if it's scrapped, how can you ride it unless you make your own little train car and attach it to the remnants of the coaster? Well, you can't. Well, not that exact coaster anyway, but you can ride a completely identical clone of it, and it's not that far away. You see, the Corkscrew was Vecoma's first ever roller coaster model, and due to its popularity, they made 7 other exact replicas of the ride, one of which sat at Flamingo Land until 2011, when it was closed and sold to Luna Park in France, where it is still operating to this day. So for people like me who are gutted they were just a little bit too young to ride this awesome coaster, it's amazing to know that I still have the chance to do so, and then it's only a train ride away. Well, that's it for this video, guys. Did you like it? Let me know in the comments and tell me which of these coasters you'd love to ride. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Drop a like and sub if you can, and until next time, have a good one.